Hello everybody, my name is Graham Elwood. You are watching the Political Vigilante. Progressive Comedy Tour is coming near you. Ron Placone and I, March 10th through the 13th, we are going to Lafayette, Louisiana, Oxford, Mississippi, Pensacola, Florida, and New Orleans. April, we are going to Texas. May, we're going to Salt Lake City and Boise. And in June, we're going to the East Coast. Currently, we have DC, Baltimore, New Haven, Connecticut, and New York City booked. We're getting other dates on the East Coast in June. But all the other cities that I just mentioned, there are already ticket links. Come on out, support the Progressive Comedy Tour. Also, I'm headlining the end of this month, February, in Chicago at 3 different zanies. Go to grahamelwood.com for all of the tour dates. Breaking news, everybody. So the ACLU has filed a suit against the Department of Homeland Security. This is was just given to me. This has just been filed, so it is a matter of public record. And the lawyers that are working for the ACLU are from a law firm by Nixon Peabody. Full disclosure, that's my lawyers. And one of the reasons I picked them is because they're backing progressive shit like this. And they told me that when they said, Graham, we want to represent you because we like what you're doing. I was producing a podcast festival and everything. And they're out there fighting the good fight. They're a big law firm. And normally I'm pretty critical of lawyers, but there's some good lawyers out there. And here's some work that they're doing. So it's versus the Department of Homeland Security, a complaint for declaration of injunctive relief. I don't know, sounds like some big legal terms. So here's what happened. I'll break you through this. So on January 9th, 2018, a little over a year ago, the ACLU requested under the Freedom of Information Act, right? This letter constitutes a request for records made pursuant to the Freedom of Information Act, the FOIA, on behalf of the ACLU of Southern California. What they wanted, what they were requesting, was ICE documents, right? They're trying to because ICE and the Department of Homeland Security this is Immigration Customs Enforcement, that's ICE. They want reports because people have died at the border, right? And they're detention centers, and they're like, we want real reports of these detention centers. We want to know what's going on. And they're legally supposed to do this. You requested, and in this letter is what they're asking for. And the response, and I'm going to put this, defendants have not made public any ICE reports. The defendants is ICE and Homeland Security issued. Well, there's two things, so they haven't made any public ICE reports after 2008. So from 2008 to today, there have been no ICE reports. Isn't that weird? So when Obama got elected, he deported 2 million people. He was separating families at the border. Of course, that's awful. Trump is doing even more awful, shooting people. People are dying. And they have continued to conduct inspections and issue reports during the period, but they have not issued the reports. So as I went here to this letter, they requested for the reports. The Freedom of Information Act, they are allowed to do this. This by law, anyone, you could do it, I could do it. The ACLU absolutely can do it. And they said in their response letter, they said, we'll have 20 days. Sometimes it's a little, but basically they gave themselves 30 days to give this. So they should have gotten this 30 days. From that. Now they responded and said, so even a couple months delay, all right, so they get it in March, it's the federal government, April, nothing. There's been nothing. There's been no response. So they filed this thing. What makes this even more egregious is the Department of Homeland Security conducted their own internal review of ICE detention facilities. So this is their own reviews, right? ICE inspections and monitoring of detention facilities do not lead to sustained compliance of systemic improvements. This is the Office of Inspector General of Department of Homeland Security. This is Homeland Security's own internal report. So this isn't some Human Rights Watch or the ACLU or something like that. This is Department of Homeland Security. Here's what they said. This report came out June 26 of 2018. Although ICE's inspections, follow-up process, and on-site monitoring of facilities help correct some deficiencies, they do not ensure adequate oversight or systemic improvements in detention conditions, with some deficiencies remaining unaddressed for years. So as I said, the last time ICE released a report, which they are supposed to do, they're a federal organization, there's supposed to be transparency in a democracy, something that the founding fathers instituted and the Constitution protects, and they haven't released a report since 2018. Another report, another Office of Inspector General of the Department of Homeland Security, this report from this year, like a week ago, ICE does not fully use contracting tools to hold detention facility contractors accountable for failing to meet performance standards. Again, their own report. ICE does not adequately hold detention facility contractors accountable. Oh, guess what? We use private prisons to house people. So not only is this offensive private prison thing that Kamala Harris helped back, Tulsi Gabbard said it's offensive in her speech, in her saying she's going to run. And ICE fails to consistently include its quality assurance surveillance plan in facility contracts. So of course, ICE is contracting this out to private contractors, which just costs more money. So there's for profit. So we need to round up all the illegals. Trump is doing this wall thing and all of this hysteria for profit. We have prisons for profit. When you have for-profit prisons, you know what they need? They need criminals in their prisons. That's why marijuana, a plant, is illegal. That's this war on drugs is nonsense. Drug addiction is a health issue. It's not a criminal issue. I know someone goes, well, when a drug addict commits a violent crime, yes, then you charge them for that violent crime. But using drugs should not be criminal. It is a waste of money. There's no oversight. We have no oversight. That's the other thing with the private prisons. It's just like the private military contractors that we used in Iraq and Afghanistan. They didn't have the same rules of engagement. A soldier or a Marine has specific rules of engagement. Private contractors can just mow people down willy-nilly. It doesn't matter. Their own 2 reports, June, 6 months later. So here's what they're asking for in this lawsuit, or injunctive relief, whatever legal term. The plaintiff, which is the ACLU, requests that the court declare defendants' failure to comply with the Freedom of Information Act unlawful, because it's against the law. So not complying with the Freedom of Information Act is against the law. And this legal document that they submitted goes into all the laws and the statutes and the Constitution and everything else, very thorough. Enjoin defendants from continuing to withhold from the public the ICE report records responsive to plaintiffs' Freedom of Information requests, specifically any and all records relating to or concerning inspections, audits, and reports prepared by the DS-11 and the ABA's Commission on Immigration regarding immigration detention centers from 2008 to the present, including but not limited to any finalized reports or audits, drafts, or reports or audits, and any response or communication by ICE or any contractor operating an immigration detention facility regarding any final or draft reports or audits prepared by the ABA. Order defendants to produce the ICE reports records without further delay. There's several more. I know there's 3. There's like 6 or 7, and they talk about wanting to get their fees reimbursed and stuff like that, but these are the main ones. Produce the reports without further delay. Neil Gouger, my lawyer, is one of these guys. He's helped me with my restraining order and the comedy club that's protecting my ex. If you watch my Me Too story, I'm so proud that these guys are my lawyers. They're working with the ACLU. One of the things too down here in the other ones is they're asking for reimbursement for legal fees and stuff like that, because the ACLU has their own lawyers, but then they also get other lawyers to do their work for them and stuff like that. So it's really, we're going to follow this. This is what we have. One of the things we talk about, you know. So if you've ever donated money to the ACLU, as I have, you're helping do stuff like this, because what is happening at the border is disgusting. And hopefully this will open up a lot of stuff. Private prisons and all that awful crap. We're the richest country in the history of the world, and we have one of the biggest prison populations. Really? Maybe if we don't start coups down in Central and South America, we don't need people to come here. Maybe if we... Maybe a Green New Deal would actually help the entire planet and empower all countries and end all wage inequities. See, if we help the whole world, then we don't... People need to come here illegally, and people shouldn't... It shouldn't be called illegal. We go blow up the world, and we wonder why everyone wants to come here. So I applaud Nixon Peabody, this law firm, for doing this. I really do. This is good work. And I hope that we're going to follow this case. Absolutely, we're going to follow this case. So support this show. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood. You get access to exclusive content for as little as $2 a month. For $5 a month, you get bonus content. You get all this cool stuff. $25 a month, you can do a 101 Skype interview with me. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about, provided it's not crazy bullshit. So thank you so much for watching the show, and thank you for supporting everything that I'm doing, because we're bringing the truth out there. Because you know what? I don't know that CNN is going to be talking about this. Tell me if MSNBC or CNN are talking about this, or Fox. If Fox covers it, it'll be like some hippie law firm in LA that's running around in moccasins doing bong rips, which I can assure you, it's not. It's a big fancy law firm in downtown Los Angeles. So thanks for watching the show, you guys, and thank you all for making Gotham great again.